adorned in lavish purple, bejeweled in the finest gems, and crowned with the largest turban you've ever seen. Spotting the average Luxidor in a crowd is fairly easy. Their iconic style isn't just for looks, but functions as a testament to their wealth and a glimmering beacon of civilization to the other tribes. Luxidor, riches, and greed are a three-way handshake, as you often can't have one without the others. It's no secret that Luxidoorian culture is wrapped around the markets and the size of one's own wallet, as little exists in their culture that doesn't revolve around the quest to make more money. The empire of the Luxidor is one part political entity and another part business venture, and the snooty, vapid populace would have it no other way. Unlike the many other tribes, the emperor of the Luxidoorian Empire is democratically elected, in a lengthy campaign where the aspiring candidates like to flaunt their wealth. Is it unjust to elect the person with the most money? Perhaps. But it seems to work out for the Luxidor, as the one who makes the most money can probably keep the empire profitable until an even richer candidate supplants them. And speaking of the emperor, the Luxidoorian citizens will scramble to adopt whatever style the emperor deems fashionable. Turbans are the favorite of the currently reigning head of state, while the previous emperor preferred shawls, which you can find now and then on older Luxidor. So, where do the Luxidor get their wealth? Is it entirely through their business acumen, or something greater? While, yes, the average Luxidor is trained to make money, the initial kickstart and current source of Luxidorian supplies comes from their patron deity, Exigulas, god of wealth. Who is Exigulas? No one truly understands them or their motivations. All the Luxidor know is that the temples of Exigulas produce a steady stream of gold, fine fabrics, incense, and many other luxuries. If this river of riches ever stopped, it would spark a civil panic faster than a gem shortage during wedding season. Most of the summoned goods are handed directly to mastercraft artisans, who transform them into products and trade wares, which helps keep inflation under control. While Exigulas and their gifts seem benevolent, some wonder if there's an ulterior motive, or if there's a bill that will ever come due. Can a Luxidor have too much? Nah, that's nonsense. Every year, the Luxidor perform their yearly Qiyam, a time of purging and organizing old stuff to make room for better stuff. The goods flow from the temples to artisans, who then produce goods that fall into the hands of the people, who then, in turn, pawn off their old stuff to other tribes for a quick buck. The circle of life. On the topic of the other tribes, it should come as no surprise to learn that the other tribes consider the Luxidor, as a whole, to be a cabal of vain, pretentious, pompous, flamboyant, self-absorbed, excessive, shallow, opportunistic, gluttonous, overindulgent, and ultimately wasteful hedonists. In turn, the Luxidor view all non-Luxidor as unwashed masses barely worthy of the chance to even view the splendor of their prestigious markets. Of course, trade between the Luxidor and the other tribes still happens, as other tribes have money, and that's all that really matters to our purple friends. Surprisingly, the Luxidor do have a fondness for the fez-wearing Yadak and the far-sailing Kiku, who they consider to be fellow business folk. I wouldn't say it's a strong fondness, but there's something close to a mutual respect between these three groups. Almost as majestic as the Luxidor themselves, the mighty Fantrix works tirelessly for the Empire. Useful as the mainstay mounts for Luxidorian cavalry, the Fantrix is also regarded as a steadfast companion, and a fantastic base for a stew. Really, there's little that the Fantrix can't do. Sturdy, enduring, long-suffering, patient, and tasty. They're almost as iconic as the Luxidorian love of wealth. While the Luxidor are established to be stingy, there is a bit of goodness in their hearts, as every Luxidorian city has a lucky shelter, known as a NOW, where the Fantrix are showered in donations and care from the local populace. Granted, the Fantrix aren't really able to use half the donations they're given, but I think even they can appreciate being shown as much attention as the Luxidor give them. Moving on from their local fauna and onto their iconic flora, the lands of the Luxidoor are rife with the loni fruit, a tangy fruit that can grow as big as your head. These fruits aren't exactly remarkable, but they're a staple of Luxidoorian cuisine. While you can eat the loni fruit raw, most citizens use the leaves as the base of their square-renowned sparkly diamond tea. It is a great travesty to decline the seat in a Luxidoorian tea ceremony, where diamond tea is served to guests in these great big porcelain jars. And now, it is time to discuss the other side of the Luxidoorian coin, the Aumux mercenaries. If the gleaming cities of Luxidoor are wealth made manifest, then the scorched, blackened wasteland at their border is the price paid to keep that wealth flowing. The gilded Amox don't take kindly to strangers. On a good day, you'll be stripped of everything remotely valuable and left for dead. On a bad day, you'll be the example they leave behind. Brutal, voracious, and fueled by an all-consuming greed, the Aumux are one of the most feared forces on the square, experts in extortion, plundering, and efficient, remorseless warfare. So, what do they have to do with the Luxidoor? Besides being culturally related, the Aumux primarily operate on retainer as the personal army of the Luxidoorian Emperor. The arrangement is purely transactional, as their services come at an exorbitant cost, too steep for any tribe but Luxidoor to afford. And yet, they're considered a sound investment. Their cruelty is legendary. Their battlefield results are undeniable. Everyone knows the rules. The Emperor pays, the Aumux raise. They get gold, the Empire gets its military goals accomplished, and no one asks too many questions, because everyone knows who they'll come for first if the payments ever stopped. Visually, the Aumux are impossible to miss. Nearly everything they own, helmets, weapons, and even their boats, are gilded. Their enemies know that the sight of gold on the horizon means one thing: surrender everything shiny, or join the scorched earth. And that earth? It used to be beautiful. When they're not terrorizing villages, the Aumux strip mine the land for gold, leaving jagged scars behind. Once lush valleys become husks. Rivers are dammed and drained. Mountains are rendered devoid of any greenery. Nothing is sacred to the Aumux. Not their enemies, not their employers, and not even the land they stand on. And that is the lavish story of the Luxidoor. A glimmering tale of business, excess, divine wealth, and greed. After all, if your vault is full and your conscience is empty, that's a fair trade, right? Remember, may your markets be profitable, your gold glistening, and your mercenaries well paid.